Have you ever heard of a man who never lost a battle? A warrior so fierce, so brilliant, that his enemies feared his name, long before the fight even began. That man was Khalid ibn al-Walid, the sword of Allah. But his story isn't just about blood and swords. It's about faith, loyalty, controversy, and a legacy that still echoes through history. So, who was Khalid ibn al-Walid? And how did he become one of the greatest military commanders the world has ever seen? Let's dive deep and find out. Khalid was born into the powerful Quraysh tribe in Mecca around 592 CE, in a time of great tension and change. His family was noble and well-respected. But Khalid himself was known for being bold, fearless, and sometimes even rebellious. Imagine that. Someone who once fought against a movement suddenly becoming its greatest defender. It tells you a lot about the man, capable of change and driven by something bigger than himself. Once Khalid accepted Islam, he threw himself into defending it with unmatched passion. Early on, he earned a fierce reputation on the battlefield. His courage was contagious. Soldiers looked up to him, not just as a leader, but as a symbol of strength and hope. One of his earliest and most significant victories was the Battle of Mu'tah against the Byzantine Empire. Though outnumbered, Khalid's leadership turned the tide and saved the Muslim army from disaster. That battle announced Khalid as a force to be reckoned with. The Battle of Yarmouk. Then came the Battle of Yarmouk in 636 CE. A clash so monumental it changed the course of history. The Byzantine Empire was one of the most powerful forces of the time, determined to crush the Muslim armies. They assembled an enormous force, confident of victory. But Khalid's strategy was unlike anything the Byzantines had faced before. He used speed, surprise, and deep knowledge of the terrain to outmaneuver a much larger army. For 6 intense days, the battle raged. Khalid's cavalry struck hard and fast, breaking enemy lines repeatedly. His men fought with a mix of courage and faith that seemed unstoppable. The result? A crushing victory for the Muslims and the collapse of Byzantine power in the Levant. This battle secured a vast new territory and marked Khalid as a legendary commander. The Battle of Al-Qadisiyah. But Khalid's story didn't end there. Next, he faced the mighty Persian Empire at Al-Qadisiyah. The Persians had war elephants, massive, terrifying beasts that crushed armies underfoot. Most commanders feared them, but not Khalid. He developed clever tactics to neutralize the elephants. His troops targeted the animals early, causing panic and confusion among the Persians. Once the elephants were dealt with, the Muslim forces advanced relentlessly. After a brutal fight, Khalid's leadership led to another decisive victory, signaling the end of Persian dominance and the expansion of the Islamic Empire. Leadership and character. Khalid wasn't just a warrior. He was a master strategist. He was known for his quick thinking, his ability to inspire soldiers, and his willingness to lead from the front. He never asked his men to do anything he wouldn't do himself. That earned him fierce loyalty. But Khalid was also humble. Despite his fame, he rejected lavish rewards and titles, saying his only goal was to serve Allah and his people. His relationship with Prophet Muhammad was profound. The Prophet trusted Khalid's abilities and praised his courage, calling him the Sword of Allah, a title Khalid carried with honor. The dismissal, a surprising twist. Yet, despite all his achievements, Khalid's story takes an unexpected turn. After the Prophet's death, the new Caliph Abu Bakr faced tough choices to unify a growing empire. One of those choices was to relieve Khalid of his command. Why? Historians debate this. Some say Abu Bakr worried Khalid's power might become a threat. Others suggest Khalid's harsh methods clashed with the new leadership's vision. Whatever the reason, Khalid accepted the decision without public complaint. Imagine the inner turmoil he must have felt, being asked to step down after a lifetime of victories. But Khalid didn't disappear. Under Caliph Umar, he returned to serve, though never with the same authority. He advised other generals and fought in key campaigns, proving his loyalty wasn't about power, but about faith and duty. Even without command, Khalid's presence was a symbol of strength and experience that inspired those around him. Retirement and legacy. Eventually, Khalid retired to Medina, living a quiet life away from battles and politics. He reflected on a life marked by glory and hardship, of faith tested and victories won. When he passed away around 642 CE, he left behind a legacy unmatched by most warriors in history. Khalid ibn al-Walid's legacy is complicated. To many, he is the perfect hero, brave, skilled, and faithful. But others question his dismissal and his harshness in battle. Was he too ruthless? Was his removal justified? History rarely gives us clear answers. But one thing remains certain. Khalid changed the course of history, shaping the early Islamic world and inspiring generations to come. So, what do you think? Was Khalid ibn al-Walid a flawless hero, or a man with flaws caught in the tides of history? I'd love to hear your thoughts, because stories like his aren't just about the past. They teach us about leadership, faith, and courage in our own lives. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Khalid ibn al-Walid, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that bring history to life. Thanks for watching. And remember, the sword of history is shaped by those brave enough to wield it.